All right, overcomers, here we go. Last day of the 5 motivational principles of discipleship and followership. And I am super excited today to tell you about step number 5 or principle number 5 or anything number 5. And here's why, because I mentioned yesterday that it was all about you. But before I get there, let's just share this. Day 1, know their name, know the people's names. Really important to know the individuals' names that are following you because otherwise they're not going to follow you. Day number 2 is know their passions, understand what makes them drive, understand what makes them tick, understand what is really giving them the desire to be here or be there. Day number 3 was know their pain, understand that if they've been through anything rough or anything hard or whatever the case may be, that you understand that, be compassionate, be empathetic, but be real all at the same time. Number 4 is know their heart. As you get to know individuals and you start to build that relationship, right? Because discipleship slash followership equals relationship, right? You're building a relationship there. You're building trust. You're giving them a little bit of you and they're passing off a little bit of them. So get to know their heart and really just be there for them in that capacity, but also listening. Really important to listen because you need to make sure you hear what they have to say, especially when you're building trust. And day number 5, that's right, day number 5. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. And it's all about knowing yourself. That's right, knowing yourself. Know what your strengths are. Know what your weaknesses are. Know where your flaws are. Look in the mirror every single day and know yourself, right? Because you cannot lead others without leading yourself first, and you must get yourself right and your family right and your personal life right before you can walk in that door at work and deal with other individuals' problems, issues, concerns, and really just be there for them. You can't do it, right? Some people can manage it for a while, but the end result will eventually become that you have failed in some way, shape, or form of taking the moment that they needed you to be there at that greatest moment. Right? You have to always be self-aware. Self-awareness and knowing who you are is nothing more than simply, hey, I'm really jacked up today. I know I'm jacked up today. How am I going to fix my problem today? All right. These are my strengths. One of my strengths, like I mentioned early on in a few of these videos, were I know I'm a relator. I understand a lot of people. I know what a lot of, or I feel as though I can understand what people go through. I've been through a lot. I've struggled with a broken home. I've dealt with alcoholism in my family. I've dealt with losing family members and losing a mother and even a child at one point. I understand what that looks like. And, when I'm in a position to help people grow, they might say, you don't understand what I'm going through. You know what? I may not understand what you're going through today, but I do know that I've struggled myself. And how can I help you overcome that? And these are some of the tools that I use to help me overcome those things. So as you start to build and fix yourself and really align yourself with what's necessary for you to be successful and a good leader, you then must know how to follow, right? A good leader knows himself, understands their strengths and weaknesses, has a family behind them or individuals behind them that will essentially support if there's some cracks in the foundation to kind of get them back on track. Some mentors out there, but those mentors are people that you follow as well, right? I have this saying that goes like this: one must follow to lead, and lead to follow. Which I will never be a great leader unless I know how to follow individuals. And I will never be a great follower unless I know that I am leading individuals, right? If I look behind me and there's nobody following me, I'm not a leader, right? If I'm at work and I'm managing individuals and they're all doing their own thing without completing tasks that I need them to complete, I'm not a good leader. And just like I'm not a good follower if someone that I'm supposed to be following as my top leader or something along those lines, and I look at them and say, no, I'm not going to do it. then I wonder why the people behind me are telling me they're not going to do it, because that's what they see me do. We need to ensure that we are emulating what we want from the other individuals as well. So we must follow the lead, lead to follow. We must be self-aware, right? And we cannot lead others without leading ourselves first. Now, it's not just a friendship. It's not a student relationship. It's not a student to teacher relationship. You're not just an accountability partner. And it's not just a small group meeting. It's not just those things, right? Because as a leader, I may not be someone's friend. That's okay. But when they come to work, or they come to the organization, they understand their role. It may not just be a teacher-student relationship, meaning that I'm just teaching you things all the time. You are also going to teach me. I learn so much more from the individuals that I lead than anything else in the world. Why? Because I'm willing to listen and take the moment to really hear what they have to say. And if something's not working, I tell them, listen, as long as you could do the task and it meets the end result, no matter how you do it, as long as it's ethical, moral, and safe, do it the way that you need to. Unless there's a specific way that it needs to get done based on whatever the rule, regulation, policy, instruction, whatever the case may be. But if you have a better way of doing it, do it. Get it done. Do it within the confines of what's right. And then we can end that task and move on to the next one, right? It's just not an accountability partner. When I say that, it's not me just saying you need to be here on time and then hold you accountable when you're, when you don't show up on time, right? It's about you also holding me accountable. Leaders I've seen in the past, they don't like being told what to do from the people that are following them. But what I've realized and what I found that over time, if I say, hey, you need to be here at 7 o'clock, and I show up at 7:15 every day, and everybody's already here working without me being here, that is not what a good leader should do. My time in my organization, I normally get there an hour before everybody else does, so I know that all the ducks are in a row before we move on to what the daily activities will be. So it's not just me holding them accountable, it's also them holding me accountable. If I tell someone, hey, listen, we're going to get out of here at this time, and I'm just holding them here just because, obviously be respectful and do those things, but it goes both ways. 360 leadership is not just a one-way road. You are in a center of a hub that is leading everybody in a movement. That's what's important. All right. And it's also not just a small group meeting, right? Knowing yourself and having people in a meeting for the day, right? I am not a fan of meetings. I can't stand them. I try to keep my meetings 20 minutes or less because I like productivity, if you will. But it's knowing myself. It's not just bringing people in a room and be like, tell me what's right and wrong about me, right? Take the insight, take the information, and really just apply it to what's right. I used to hold a transparency meeting every single week. And transparency meetings are important, in my opinion, because it allows me to see what's working within my group of individuals that I can then take and apply to a better way of doing business. So it just made it easier, okay? You take all of these elements right here listed above. You take the friendship, teacher-student relationship, you take the accountability partner, and you take that small group meeting, right? With a commitment to model integrity and ask tough questions, you got to listen and just not settle for anything less than the best. And you could take those followers that are right behind you right now, and you can propel them to even surpass you one day. As a leader, that should be essentially your goal, is to take those ones that are following you and give them so much that they are passing you at the speed of which you wish they wouldn't. Because if you can do that, those individuals are going to give you nothing but the utmost respect because you helped them get them to where they needed to be. So over the last 5 days, we spoke about knowing an individual's name. Get to know that person, get to know who they are in that capacity, because that will start laying the foundation for you to build a relationship, because they work for you. You are their leader. Give them the respect to know their name. The second thing that we spoke about was know their passion. When you know their passion and you understand really what makes them tick, I mentioned I like to run. If you know that I like to run and we start talking about running, or we start talking about what's the next race that we're going to, or what was the coolest medal I got, that gives me a reason to talk to you, right? It opens up that door for us to build that relationship to move back and forth. So know their passion. The third day, we spoke about know their pain. I shared a little bit, right? I grew up in a broken home. I've dealt with alcoholism. I know what it's like to lose a family member and a parent. I understand those things. So if you know that those are some of my pains and you're feeling them too, there's a good chance that maybe one day, if you have a question about that, hey, how did you get over this? How did you deal with this? How did you help with walking people through these challenges? I can give you that insight and that wisdom because I've done it, right? Step 4 is know their heart. Really know their heart. Understand what those people are trying to do. Build a relationship. Get them to open up. Understand what their passion and pain are, and understand the hurts, fears, insecurities, and the wounds that they may have. Right? Build a place that they can then utilize their greatest potential to transform and grow. And finally, we spoke about know yourself. Understand yourself. Know your strengths and weaknesses. I've dealt with numerous different strength finders and personality trait finders, right? I am an extrovert by human nature. It's who I am. I'm really not good at certain other aspects of life, and that's fine with me. I utilize my strengths. I work on my weaknesses so that I can then just become more well-rounded to help people like you out there that are seeking to find these answers. And it helps me become more self-aware. When we follow to lead and lead to follow, we can then take those individuals and propel them past every ounce of who we are and help them grow at such a significant rate that one day they may be extending a hand out to you saying thank you, and they may be pulling you up on the ladder with them. So that's what I suggest. You take these elements, you build commitment, you model integrity, you ask the tough questions, you listen, and settle for nothing but the individual's best. Because when you know yourself, you know that you can take them to the next level. And if you have any questions or you want to answer anything or you want anything answered, just shoot us a message, leave us a comment, hit us up on Facebook at Overcome HQ, reach us at Instagram at Overcome HQ, hit us up on Twitter at Overcome_HQ, reach us at our blog at overcomehq.com. Just ask us questions. I'm here for them. I love to share insight. I love to share information. If you have any comments, leave them below in the comment block on our YouTube channel, and can't wait to see what you have, right? So Overcome HQ, be here to lead, inspire, and drive individuals to become a better self. And I appreciate this conversation. You have a great time. Talk to you soon. Eric.